In this segment, I'm going to be talking about hepatitis C. The main importance of this segment is to highlight the importance of hepatitis C, especially because we have some new drugs now which can completely cure hepatitis C. So it is a new treatment that is available in India, and it is a revelation for hepatitis C treatment, and I'm sure thousands and millions of patients will get benefited. So it's all the more important that all of you know about hepatitis C, so that if there is a doubt or you already know somebody with hepatitis C, you can help them access treatment and get cured. So I'll be highlighting all the important features of hepatitis C, how the treatment helps, and all important aspects of this disease in this segment.
What is hepatitis C and how does it affect the body?
Hepatitis C is also a blood related infection like hepatitis B and HIV. It enters the body through the blood, and after entering the body it will go to the liver and cause inflammation and damage in the liver. In hepatitis C, it is slightly different how it affects the body compared to the other infections like hepatitis B. In the acute hepatitis C, which means when the virus first enters the body, the reaction in the liver will be very mild and very less. Many times patients don't even know they have the virus. There will be a reaction which they are not aware of, and they won't have any symptom even during the acute attack. In some patients, they will have a mild symptoms like mild fever, mild jaundice. Sometimes they will notice it, sometimes they may not notice it. So it is not a very severe reaction that happens in the body, so many times it is silent. Luckily, around 20% of patients will be able to clear the virus on their own without any treatment. And sometimes the patient don't even know they have the virus, and they don't even know whether they have cleared it or not. Only later through blood tests they come to know that sometime in the past they have had the virus. Unfortunately, 80% of patients who develop hepatitis C are unable to clear the virus, which is very different from hepatitis B. So this 80%, the virus will continue to remain in the body for more than 6 months, and then we call it chronic hepatitis C. This can stay in the body for several years, sometimes up to 30-40 years, and any time in this period it can cause damage to the liver. It causes hepatitis, which is inflammation of the liver, and later it will cause liver scarring called fibrosis, and then subsequently liver cirrhosis. If you listen to my hepatitis B talk, you will know that liver cirrhosis can lead to liver failure, it can lead to liver cancer, and both of these can cause death to the patient. So hepatitis C also is a virus that can be dangerous for some patients, and approximately 20% of patients who develop hepatitis C can develop these serious complications in their lifetime. So it is something that we need to be careful about and take precautions and give treatment. It is an important disease that affects the liver, and many people suffer from this.
Hepatitis C, how it's common in India?
Hepatitis C is India is considered a low prevalence country for hepatitis C. The number of patients with hepatitis C is slightly lower than hepatitis B. It is estimated to be between 1 to 2%, average 1.5% of the population will have. There are pockets in India with very high incidence of hepatitis C, particularly tribal areas in the northeast and in some parts of the country. Certain parts of northern India like Punjab, Haryana, where the incidence can be even more than 10%. And many of the northeastern states of India have very high prevalence of hepatitis C, again between 10 to 15%, which is considered extremely high. In South India, generally we see lower prevalence between 1 to 1.5% of the population. But this itself in India is a huge burden, because it will come to almost 15 to 20 million people who will be affected with this virus. So even though the percentage is small, the number of people in India with this virus are quite high.
Doctor, how hepatitis C is spread?
Like all the blood infection, hepatitis C also will be spread mainly through needles and contaminated blood. So the hepatitis C virus was discovered in 92, and roughly by 94-95 the tests were finalized how to test for this virus, and most centers in India also started testing before they gave blood to the patients. So anybody who received blood transfusion before 1995 may not have been aware of this virus, and they will be at risk for developing the virus. In India now, all the blood should be tested for hepatitis C and discarded if they are positive. But we believe that in some situations it is also spread through blood or blood product transfusion. So this has to be kept in mind, but hopefully this will not happen much more in the future, and it will be reduced. More than blood, contamination of needles similar to hepatitis B. If needle and syringes are reused, it can cause spread, and also medical instruments which are not sterilized properly can also cause spread if it is not cleaned properly and patients are exposed to it. Apart from that, the sexual transmission for hepatitis C is very low compared to hepatitis B and HIV, and maybe even less than 5% of patients who have a sexual partner with hepatitis C is likely to get this infection, and spread through body fluids and other parts of the body is very, very uncommon in hepatitis C. There is a possibility of mother to child spread, but again it is under 5% and not very common. So we still advise hepatitis C mothers to have childbirth if they are very keen to do so, but we give a risk percentage of up to 5% that the child may get. Unfortunately, there is no preventive vaccine or any measure to prevent completely the child from getting the virus, so that is a risk that has to be taken. But since the risk is under 5%, it may not be correct for all hepatitis C patients or mothers not to have childbirth, but that risk has to be taken.
Doctor, what are the symptoms and clinical features in hepatitis C?
Like hepatitis B, hepatitis C is also a silent disease, and that is one of the dangers of having hepatitis C. In the acute stage, you may have fever and jaundice, but in many situations it may not happen, so patients don't even know they have acquired the virus. Like I mentioned earlier, 20% may clear the virus and then they are okay because they didn't know they had the virus, but the virus has already been cleared. But in the remaining 80% who become chronic hepatitis C, the patient may not be aware that they developed the C, and only years later when they come with some complication, they find out that they have hepatitis C, or in some health screening or when they go for some surgery, it is tested routinely, that time they find out. So in the early part of the virus, the symptoms may not be present. Many patients, when they look back, they feel after they are diagnosed with hepatitis C, they say yes, in the last 10-15 years, they have not been feeling normal. They have had tiredness, fatigue, some general symptoms which they didn't think of it as a big problem. But sometimes hepatitis C can cause that. More notably, it causes body pain, it can cause arthralgia. These are common associations with hepatitis C. So if somebody has unexplained tiredness, fatigue, body pain, joint pain, sometimes fever, then it is worth considering hepatitis C as a possible cause. In the later stages, as the liver starts to get damaged, then symptoms can get worse. And if you listen to my earlier talk, you will know that once you develop cirrhosis and liver failure, you can get fluid in the whole body, especially in the abdomen and legs. You can have drowsiness and coma, you can have increasing jaundice, you can have blood vomiting. So these are all features of cirrhosis of the liver and complications from cirrhosis of the liver and liver failure, and these are quite serious complications. Hepatitis C, if it is left untreated, can progress through stages of inflammation, which is called hepatitis, and then later scarring called fibrosis and cirrhosis. This sometimes will not cause symptoms in the early stage, but it can be diagnosed through blood test and scans like ultrasound and fibroscan, which is designed to look at fibrosis in the liver. And using this combination of tests, the liver status and the virus status can be determined.
How can we diagnose hepatitis C? How many types are there and who should get tested?
The only way to diagnose hepatitis C is through blood test. There is a blood test called anti-HCV, which is an antibody to hepatitis C, and this is usually done in a lab, and this is the confirmation that patient has hepatitis C. Simply having antibody doesn't mean the patient has active infection. Once anti-HCV is positive, the patient should have a special test called HCV RNA test. This RNA test will confirm whether the disease is active in the patient or not. I had mentioned earlier that 20% of patients may clear the virus. So in this situation, the HCV RNA may be absent. If that is the case, then the patient does not have active infection and they don't have to worry. If the patient has both anti-HCV positive and HCV RNA positive, they are the ones with active infection, and they are the patients who are in danger of getting liver damage and all the complications, and they are the ones that need treatment. Sometimes screening tests are used, which are rapid assays, which pick up the antibody to the HCV. They are usually done in camps and screening areas. They are fairly accurate, but I recommend that if a screening test comes back as positive, you go for the proper anti-HCV testing in the lab to confirm, and subsequently do a HCV RNA test to see if the virus is active or not active. So these are some of the ways to confirm the diagnosis of hepatitis C. Hepatitis C, there are many types of hepatitis C, and the subtypes are more important for the treatment purpose, because according to the subtype we decide the exact treatment and how long it should be given. We call them genotype. This is according to the genetic variation of the virus, and it is divided into 6 genotypes. In India, we see genotype 1 and 3 commonly, and sometimes genotype 2. But like I mentioned, this is more important for the treating doctor to plan the treatment for each patient. Now, who should get tested is a difficult question, because again, since the incidence is only 1.5%, it is difficult to ask everybody in India to get tested. So we have somebody called high risk groups, and these patients belonging to this high risk group should get tested. Like I mentioned, blood transfusion given in before 1995, they may not have screened for hepatitis C. So certainly patients who have had surgery and they know they have had a transfusion, definitely before 1992, but even before 1995 or at any time in their lives, if they are worried, they can get tested. People who are injecting drugs either now or in the past, some kind of abuse of drugs using injections and needles, they have high risk, they can be tested. People who have had tattoos or had piercing in the body can get tested. Patients who visit hospitals regularly for treatments, especially hemodialysis patients, maybe there is a risk for them and they can also get tested. If you're living with a person with hepatitis C, or you are a sexual partner of hepatitis C, you're married to somebody with hepatitis C, definitely they should be tested. All household members of infected patients should be tested, and definitely children of hepatitis C mothers should also be tested. And healthcare workers, we don't insist, but periodically we test them, because we are constantly dealing with patients with hepatitis C, and frequently we are exposed to blood. Sometimes we get injury from needles, and so all healthcare workers, we recommend regular testing for hepatitis C. So these are the high risk groups. If you are a concerned person living in India who want to get tested, there is nothing wrong in getting tested, but we don't insist that every person in India should get tested, because the prevalence is so low. But as an individual, if you are concerned, certainly you can do an anti-HCV test. It is a simple blood test, and if it is negative, then you can be very reassured that you are okay.
Doctor, is there any treatment for hepatitis C? Is the treatment is successful, and hepatitis C, is it completely curable, sir?
Now this is the most important question for this segment, because of the new exciting treatment that is available for hepatitis C. I am glad to say that now treatment success is extremely high for hepatitis C, and we have excellent treatments available for hepatitis C. For many years, almost 20 years since the virus was diagnosed, we were struggling to clear the virus. Initially, we used interferon, which is a type of injection which is also used in cancer treatment. And naturally, it was a very difficult treatment to give to patients. Many of them need injections. Initially, it was daily, then alternate days, then weekly ones for up to 1 year. It is painful, there are a lot of side effects, cost was extremely high, and the success rate was very poor. Overall, only 50 to 60% of patients were benefited by this treatment. So we and the patients, more than us, the patients were struggling with this kind of treatment. But luckily for us, the scientific breakthrough happened about 4 or 5 years back, where the virus, the complete viral genetic particle was identified, how the virus multiplies in the body was identified, and targets were made to stop the replication of the virus. That means the virus divides itself in the body, and it happens at a microscopic level, and the research around the world led the researchers and scientists to identify how to stop the virus from multiplying. If the virus doesn't multiply, it will die a natural death in the body, cleared up by the immune system, and gradually the virus will be erased from the body. So this was a tremendous breakthrough, and all the researchers, scientists and doctors like me were completely taken aback at the high level of success that we got. We never thought clearing hepatitis C was so easy, but now it is very simple, and just by taking tablets, a combination of tablets for either 3 months or 6 months, around 95% of patients can be cured of hepatitis C. So it is a very remarkable breakthrough in the treatment, and probably there is no other disease which has had such a tremendous success rate at such a short period of time. There are treatments, so many breakthroughs, miracles have been achieved for medical care, but the single biggest breakthrough for completely curing a disease so easily is only for hepatitis C. So we are all very excited that we can help so many patients using this new treatment, and we have started treating in India for the last 1 to 2 years with very high level of success. And luckily for us, newer drugs are coming to India at a very low cost compared to other countries, and even more success is expected in the next 4 to 5 years. So we are very hopeful that in the next 10 to 20 years we can treat all the hepatitis C patients and cure at least 95% of them, and maybe in the future even 100% of patients can be cured, so that even in 20-25 years time hepatitis C can be completely cleared from this country. This is all the more important because there is still no vaccine for hepatitis C, so treatment is the only way to get rid of this virus. So the answer is yes, it can be cured, and 95% of patients can be cured with simple tablets for 3 to 6 months. So it is very important for you to know this, so that you can spread this message to people you know who may have the virus. If you suspect you may have, or you are at high risk, then you should get tested and come for the treatment.
How can hepatitis C is prevented?
To prevent hepatitis C is difficult because there is no vaccine, but by taking precautions and taking the universal precautions to protect oneself against exposure to contaminated blood, you can reduce the chances of getting the virus, and this is a common principle for all blood related infections. 3 important ones are hepatitis B, C and HIV. There is no vaccine available for hepatitis C. It was difficult to make the vaccine due to many difficulties in identifying a single structure in the virus to make the vaccine against, because the virus keeps changing the structure and exists in many forms. So scientifically it was very difficult to make a vaccine, but now that we have a very successful cure where the virus can be cleared, this itself is like a vaccine, because the more you treat, the less chances of contamination and spreading the virus, and gradually the virus incidence and existence of the virus should come down. Having a vaccine would have made it faster and more easier to clear the virus, but unfortunately we may not ever get the vaccine. So apart from the vaccine, you can take universal precaution by making sure that you don't have needles or syringes that are reused. you shouldn't share needles and syringes with each other, which is extremely wrong. And even things like razors, toothbrush, which you use on yourself, should not be shared with other people, especially if you are having hepatitis C, or even if you don't know, it is not good to share it. And especially to borrow from somebody whom you don't know that well, he may be having some infection which can be transmitted to you. So it is not a good practice. In the public place, wherever needles are used on you, you have to make sure that it is a fresh needle. For example, you go to the barber shop for a shaving and they're using some blade. It has to be a fresh blade and has to be thrown to the bin after they use it on you. Same way, if you're going to shave your head, you have to make sure that the knife or blade is new and not reused. Same way, now many people are going for body piercing, tattoos. So you have to make sure that the place you go to is using sterilized instruments so that spread of blood related infections is reduced. And in hospitals, the equipments that are used should be sterilized adequately, which the hospital should ensure. And as a patient, you can just be aware that this can happen and make sure that the place you go to follows high practices of sterilization and hygiene to reduce the risk of infections. If you are living with someone with hepatitis C, since there is no vaccine, you have to make sure that blood does not exchange between the patient and you. Other than that, you can be with the patient, you can touch them, you can share food with them, you can hold them. There is no problem with body contact. Only through sexual contact it may spread to a lesser degree, less than 5%. It can spread from mother to child, but since there is no vaccine, there is no 100% effective way to protect the child. But there is a risk of less than 5% from mother to child, and that cannot be reduced any further, but that risk has to be taken if a hepatitis C mother wants to have a child. The good thing is that since good treatments are available, even if by chance there is an infection or spread between household member and a relative, the treatment is easily available that can clear the virus. So that is the only way we can prevent the virus, since we don't have a vaccine. So in these two segments, we have covered the infections related to liver called hepatitis B and C, how it can affect the liver, how it can be prevented, and how new treatments are available, particularly for hepatitis C. I hope you found this useful so that you can share this message with your relatives and friends so that they can become aware. Since the infections are fairly common in India, especially hepatitis B, and it can have serious complications in the liver, it is not wrong for all of you or any of you to get tested for both hepatitis B and C whenever you get the opportunity, and you only need to do it once in your lifetime so that it can be diagnosed at an early stage and adequate treatment can be given. And if you don't have the virus, you can take vaccination for hepatitis B so that you can get protected.